What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Wrestling. It's your host, Alec, and we're back here on Leon the King TV. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Let's Talk Wrestling. And today I want to get right into it. Hope everybody's having a positive month, positive week, positive day, positive year. You're to achieve your goals this year and doing everything you want to do. So bless y'all and thank y'all for coming in the show. But we're gonna get right into it today. Today we're talking about I'm gonna start with the topic of black women in wrestling. As we know, as an African American man myself, I know that black women are dominating wrestling today. Black women are dominating pro wrestling. It's a fact. I feel they're dominating more than Caucasian men in wrestling right now. They're dominating more than white men in wrestling right now. But black women are doing the thing. They are rising to the top. They're winning championship titles. They're main eventing pay-per-views. You know, we could say that, I mean, they are the greatest right now. They're just the shit. They're the best. Excuse me, but they're the best right now. Um, when you really watch, you think of the list of names. The list of names of black women in wrestling. And these are some of the names. You think of Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, Brandy Rhodes, Willow Nightingale, Alicia Fox, Jazz, Jackie. You think of Awesome Kong. These are some of the names of black women that put in so much work into wrestling. Ember Moon, Athena from AEW. You think about a lot of these names, and these are women that have made wrestling so awesome. They make you tune in and watch. When it comes to women wrestling, I usually say this. They kind of make it interesting to watch wrestling a little bit. They really do. They make you want to watch wrestling. And they do. You know, right now in WWE, Bianca Belair is the current Raw Women's Champion. In AEW, Jade Cargill is the current TBS champion. Not an AEW Women's Champion, an AEW TBS champion. A black woman is the TBS champion of AEW. You got to think about that. You got to think about things like, I'm going to say this. This is my list of who I think is, per se, on my list of the greatest black women in wrestling. My favorite list of black women in wrestling. I'm going to go down the list. But right now, I'm going to have to start off number one with no other than Alicia Fox, Victoria Crawford. Alicia Fox, in 2006, she signed a developmental contract with World Wrestling Entertainment and was assigned to Ohio Valley Wrestling, OVW, WWE's then developmental territory. She debuted on July 1st, 2006 as a special guest referee under her real name in a match between Shelly Martinez and ODB. On September 6th, Crawford made her in-ring debut under the ring name Tori in OVW Women's Battle Royal. Crawford debuted for WWE's new developmental territory, Florida Championship Wrestling at the time, which was FCW, on September 2nd, 2007, participating in a body contest. Her FCW in-ring debut came on September 25th where she and Natty Neidhart, Natalia, defeated the Bella Twins, Brianna and Nicole, in a tag team match. She quickly began feuding with the Bella Twins while allying herself with Neidhart. The Bella Twins defeated Crawford and Neidhart as 2 consecutive occasions. Her main roster debut and brand switches were between 2008 and 2010. Crawford debuted on WWE's main roster on the June 13th, 2008 episode of SmackDown as Alicia Fox in a backstage segment with Vickie Guerrero, which saw her portraying Guerrero and Edge's wedding planner. During their wedding reception the following month, Triple H revealed Edge kissing Fox the day before the wedding on camera. Fox involved herself in the WWE Championship match at the Great American Bash when she attempted to help Edge, but she was stopped by Guerrero. The confusion surrounding her interference caused Edge to accidentally spear Guerrero. So I remember that storyline back in like 2008, years ago, when Edge was feuding with Triple H, and the whole storyline with Alicia Fox and Edge. I remember that. That was good. So Alicia Fox, if I am correct, is she the first African American women's champion? Someone by the name of Ethel Johnson was the first African American women's champion in WWE. But Alicia Fox, I would say held the Divas Championship. So we're going to go over her title reigns. I believe that on June 20th, 2010, at the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view, Fox competed in a Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Divas Championship, which also involved Gail Kim, Eve Torres, and Maurice. Fox pinned Maurice to win the championship for the first time, and as a result, became the first and only African-American diva to win the title. Yes, she is. She's the first African-American diva champion in WWE was Alicia Fox. I was right. Correct. So there we go. And eventually she was released from the company by, I would say, 2020. She was released from the company. So yeah, Alicia Fox is definitely number one on my list. She's beautiful. She's great. She's compatible with my sign. I'm a Virgo. She's a Cancer, but she's compatible with my sign. But I'm having a crush on Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox is amazing. She's great in the ring. I really thought, like in the interview, I heard Gail Kim do an interview with Rosenberg years ago. And in the interview, she said, if someone could come to TNA, she would like to see Alicia Fox in TNA. I actually thought that was a great idea, seeing Alicia Fox in TNA, seeing her be booked that way. So, yes. So, Alicia Fox is number one for me. I would say the number two second African-American woman on that list, I'm going to have to say Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is the first woman, the first Black woman, the first woman, period, to main event as a woman to main event a WWE pay-per-view when she faced Charlotte Flair at Hell in a Cell 2016. It was one of the greatest women matches, the greatest match in the history of WWE, period. One of the greatest matches is Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, Hell in a Cell 2016. They went at it. And Sasha kicked butt. She did her thing. To me, that's one of the best matches, was Hell in a Cell 2016. You cannot deny it was. Man, being in that Hell in a Cell, that was awesome. So, and she's the first African American woman to ever main event a WrestleMania. Her and Bianca Belair. So Sasha Banks is definitely number 2 on that list. We're gonna look at her title wins. Sasha Banks' longest reign was with the NXT Women's Championship. The Boss is a 7-time Women's Champion in WWE. Her first solo title was the NXT Women's Championship. Once Banks joined the main roster, she had the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship a combined 6 times. So I would say she's been a 6-time champion in WWE. And she still walked out of WWE, her and Naomi. So that's interesting. But yeah, I would say Sasha's number 2. Next, I would say number 3 for me is Awesome Kong. As we know, Awesome Kong was in TNA. And she was in AEW, TNA, WWE, with the ring name Karma. She wrestled in Ring of Honor and other several promotions. She is a 5-time women's champion, having won the TNA Knockouts Championship 2 times, the WWWA World Single Championship, the NWA World Women's Championship, and AWA Superstars of Wrestling World Women's Championship once. Awesome Kong is talented. She's great. You cannot deny that. The matches with her and Gail Kim back in TNA years ago were amazing. They have a history, but Awesome Kong has to be on that list. So, next is Bianca Belair. I kind of have this love-hate relationship with Bianca Belair. I just do. I think she's talented. I think she's athletic. But however, I feel over in recent years, she was a little overhyped. I felt that. She was overpushed and she was overhyped. Is she the best at promos? No. Does she have on mic skills? No. Is she good in the ring? Hell yes. She is definitely one of the best women wrestlers today. And she's great. She has a great in-ring talent. She can wrestle. She's just good. So I'm going to definitely have to give it to Bianca Belair. You know, on the first night of WrestleMania on April 10th, Belair defeated Banks in the main event to win the first SmackDown Women's Championship, making her first title in her career. She then retained the title against Bayley at WrestleMania Backlash on May 16th and at Hell in a Cell on June 20th inside the namesake structure. And she's her current Raw Women's Champion, defeating Becky Lynch for the title. So we got to honor the fact that Bianca Belair is probably one of the best today. Her husband is a great wrestler, Montez Ford, who's one half of the tag team Street Profits on Raw. So we got to honor, Bianca's great. She has a great husband. She's talented in the ring. She's beautiful. She has amazing arms, by the way. But anyway, the woman is great. And you have to admit the fact that she can wrestle. She's athletic, even though she didn't come from a wrestling background. She still proved in an industry that she had no experience in that she was still great. If you go on Peacock, on WWE's network on Peacock, and you watch her Chronicle episode and her talking about her depression, her growing up at young and being athletic and being raised by her family and everything, her upbringings and early personal life, you understand that you'll see why she's one of the best today and the hard work she put in to get to WWE. So yeah, I would say Bianca on that list. I would also say Athena. You know, what's the girl's name when she was in WWE? Ember Moon. Ember Moon to me is definitely one of the best women wrestlers you have today. Ember Moon, she has the same birthday as me, August 31st. And Ember Moon is definitely one of the best. She probably can pull up on Wiki here. She's currently signed to AEW under the ring name Athena. Prior to her main roster debut, Moon worked in WWE's developmental system, NXT, where she is a former NXT Women's Champion. Moon is the first person to win both the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT Women Tag titles. In the independent circuit, Reese made her regular appearance as Athena for promotions such as Ring of Honor, Shimmer Women's Athletes, Women's Superstars Uncensored, Anarchy Championship Wrestling, which is ACW, and American Joshi Champion. You know, I really thought when WWE released her last year, it made you kind of question whether it was this year or last year, one of these years. I guess it made you question the fact, what the hell were they doing when they released her back in November last year? It made you question, what the hell are they doing? Excuse my language, people. I don't talk like this usually. But it made you question, what were they thinking? What were they doing? And to me, when you let Athena go, when you let Ember Moon go, it's shocking because she was great on the main roster. When they brought her on the main roster in 2018, they put her back on NXT, and I was okay, cool. Put her back on NXT. She's still with WWE. Doesn't matter what promotion she's on, Raw, SmackDown. She's on NXT, and that's good. She was. So I felt with her being on NXT, it kind of showed you like, yo, this is a black woman who's doing it, other than a Bianca Belair. And I'm knocking Bianca Belair. I love Bianca Belair. I'm a fan of her. But I like to see someone like an Ember Moon get that same shine as well. And when you kind of, you know, you make all these releases, and then it's like you're releasing great talent. You're releasing great black talent. And you're just releasing these guys. And to me, it's like maybe it was budget cuts from what people are saying. These releases were made. But Ember Moon being let go of WWE to me is crazy. But we just got to accept it and understand the fact that now she's with AEW. She's probably going to be a TBS champion, hopefully. She beats Jade Cargill. And we'll see her title. We'll see how she does in AEW. But I think she's so far, she's amazing. I don't think there's much to say about Ember Moon. She's great in WWE as much as she's great in AEW right now. So we're going to see a great run in AEW with Athena. Next, I want to talk about Jade Cargill. You know, this is someone else who came up who didn't have a wrestling background, like we talked about with Bianca Belair. Jade is born June 3rd, 1992. She's 30 years old. Born in Guilford, Florida. She went to Jacksonville University. She attended Sebastian River High School, Vero Beach High School, helping her teams on 2 basketball district championships. Cargill is a Jacksonville University graduate with a social science degree where she played basketball and named to Atlantic Sun preseason first team in her senior year. She also has a certified master's in child psychology. In April 2019, Cargill attended a tryout at the WWE Performance Center. Didn't know that. Subsequently, she began training at AR Fox's WWA4 Academy, taking advice from Mark Henry, who Cargill described as her mentor. She went to train at Heath Miller and Richard Borger's face-to-face wrestling school. She trained at Nightmare Factory under QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, Sanjay Dutt, and Daniel Bryan. Started coaching her when they arrived in AEW in 2021 at the request of AEW founder and owner Tony Khan. Cargill made her professional wrestling debut with All Elite Wrestling on November 11, 2020. I remember that. On the episode of Dynamite, interrupting Cody Rhodes and teasing their rival Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq. The next day, AEW president and CEO Tony Khan announced that Cargill had signed a multi-year contract with AEW. She would work with Cody Rhodes and wife Brandi Rhodes, leading to a match between the four. However, Brandi was replaced by Red Velvet on the March 3rd, 2021 episode of Dynamite. Cargill and O'Neal defeated Cody and Velvet, making the first match of Cargill's wrestling career. On the March 17th episode of Dynamite, Cargill wrestled in her first singles match, defeating Danny Jordan, despite Matt Hardy offering his managerial services to Cargill. He was shunned in favor of Mark Sterling, which was announced on the May 28th episode of Dynamite. Okay. From November 2021 to January 2022, Cargill participated in the AEW TBS Championship Tournament, where she defeated Red Velvet, Thunder Rosa in the semifinals, and Ruby Soho, who was Ruby Riott in WWE, in the finals to become the inaugural AEW TBS champion. She would retain against Anna Jay and Julia Hart on episode of Rampage on January 21st and 28th. Cargill successfully defended her title against Tay Conti. And she defended her championship against Willow Nightingale, where she came out victorious. Jade Cargill, to me, is kind of like once again, not coming from somebody who had a wrestling background. She didn't. She had a basketball background. I was surprised to find out just now that she went to a WWE performance trial and didn't get accepted. Didn't even make it into WWE. They didn't get signed to develop. Didn't even get signed to NXT or anything. Jade Cargill would be a great addition to the WWE Women's Division. Whether brand she goes to SmackDown, she goes to Raw, NXT, Jade Cargill would make a great addition to the WWE Women's Division. I've said that for a while now. I think she'd do good in acting and film, but she would definitely be great in WWE. I've been saying that. But yeah, Jade Cargill is great. I think she's on that list of women who's doing it right now. So, that's I would say right now that's kind of the list that I have. There's other names. You got Willow Nightingale. You got Nyla Rose. You got Red Velvet. So these are black women. Jackie in WWE, Naomi. So Sasha and Naomi are the first African American women to be women tag team champions in WWE. Man, black women whooping. This is some black girl magic. They whooping booty in wrestling right now. Black girls are dominating pro wrestling. Black women are doing it. You have to admit, they are killing it in wrestling right now. And everybody, every persuasion, even those black men, got to admit that black women are doing it in wrestling right now. Bianca Belair is a Raw Women's champion. Jade Cargill is a TBS champion. They're doing it. It's facts. It's in front of our eyes, and we see it clearly. They are the best things in wrestling right now. Black women. So when you see black women succeeding, and we bring up the fact that we love seeing black women as black people, African American people, it does something for us as wrestling fans. It makes us go, little black boys and little black girls, be like, you know what? I want to be like that. She's a champion. She's succeeding. She's making money. She's on top. She has a championship. I want to be like that. I want to be proof that I work hard and be one of the greatest. It does something psychologically to people like that. Seeing that. I did this before. I talked about it before. When you see Sasha Banks, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, it makes black people want to succeed like them. Not be exactly like them, no, but it makes you want to succeed as well when you see that. So as black people, we're always and forever was, where forever will, if we are, was, is, and forever will be, have the right to say that we love seeing black people succeed because that's what we do. And for other persuasions who have an issue with it, then that's your problem. You got to deal with your issues. But I'm happy that as black people, we can say we can have somebody to look up to in the wrestling. So when I see factions like Hit Row, when I see factions like the Hurt Business, even though they're not together anymore, but when you see that, it makes you inspire and be like, man, these guys are champions. They're rich. They're filthy rich. They're succeeding. They're happy. It inspires us black people to rise to the top because obviously a lot of other persuasions don't understand the struggle that we come up in. So when you see black people make it and we bring it up and talk about black people, and then white folks, y'all want to question why is everything about race? Well, we love the fact of seeing black people rise to the top. Other persuasions have been at the top for a while. It's time that we see black people make it to the top. We went through a lot in this country, in this nation. So when we get opportunities to become successful, rich, and we do something with ourselves, don't stereotype us or talk down on us. Listen to your black friends. Listen to your black family. Love black people because, like you said, you read history and you learn about the history of the country and things we went through and how we made this country. You will understand why we have the right to bring up race. You will understand it. You will understand why we bring up race and why we love to do it because you understand the struggle we went through and what we fought through in being black in America, what it is to be black in America, and not understanding what that's like. So that's all, man. I think that we have the right to say what we want as African Americans about our culture and our race and our ethnicity. And the thing is, I love black folks. I love all people. I love all persuasions. I love everybody, but I love me some black folks. And the reality is, our women are dominating in wrestling. It's a fact. Who's the champion? Let's just call it for what it is. So I love seeing black women dominate right now. The Sasha Banks, the Bianca Belairs, the Jade Cargills, they're doing it. The Naomi's, whoever, they are doing it. Let's not forget Alicia Fox is the first Divas African American women's champion. Let's not forget, guys. So that is mostly what I want to talk about today on Let's Talk Wrestling. I am going to be on for another episode later on in a little bit. Next, we're going to be talking about the career of Drew McIntyre. But yeah, today we are going to celebrate on the channel Black women in wrestling. And we turn it up talking about Black women in pro wrestling today and how they are dominating. And they're doing it. So let's just say Black women are doing it. They're great. And Black women are champions now in wrestling. And I love saying that. See how far we've come? That is amazing to say. So, on that note, before I close out on this episode and go into the next episode, I want to talk about, quickly, I want to talk about some wrestling news with our women. I ain't done yet. Comicbook.com has reported Alexa Bliss says Bianca Belair's days as WWE champion are numbered. After Clash at the Castle premium live event is just around the corner, and the card includes a major team up between Raw Women's Champion. Okay, this is kind of how I feel. What's probably going to happen is Alexa Bliss is either going to turn on Bianca Belair, and maybe we're going to see her alter ego, the evil Alexa Bliss, come back. That's what I would like to see. You know, her and Lily. Lily is one of the big, merchandise things in WWE. But anyway, Alexa Bliss turning on Bianca Belair at Clash at the Castle next month. I see that happening. If Triple H books that, that's going to be awesome. So I see that happening. I see Alexa Bliss turning on Bianca Belair. Jacqueline from WWE, who used to wrestle for WWE years ago, as you know, Jacqueline wants one more. Wrestling Headlines reports that 20 hours ago, Jacqueline wants one more match. She named Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair as opponents. If we ever see Jacqueline versus Bianca Belair, oh my God. Women's wrestling. And Trish Stratus is coming back, by the way. She's signing a contract with WWE again, and she's training and trying to get back in the ring. So that's awesome. We're going to see Trish Stratus again. She's going to be doing live events, but we are getting Trish Stratus back. But yeah. You know, okay. And then Wrestling Inc. reports 19 hours ago, Thunder Rosa comments on the tone Sasha Banks and Naomi set walking out of WWE. Thunder Rosa may be AEW talent, but she's been paying attention to and recently weighed in on Sasha Banks and Naomi's WWE walkout. I say Thunder Rosa can mind the business. Well, let's see what she says first before I say something that's, but let's see what Wrestling Inc. is talking about and what they're reporting. Wrestling Inc. is talking about Thunder Rosa. She made the statement and paid it off for her. But some people it wouldn't pay off because they don't have the status. Thunder Rosa said while on 11:40 a.m., when you have that option and you can make the statement, go for it, because that's going to really set the tone for a lot of other people. Banks and Naomi were originally scheduled to take part in a 6-women match where the winner would go on to face Bianca Belair at the Hell in a Cell premium live event. This would not pan out, as just about the time Raw began, Banks and Naomi set their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the desk of her former head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, and walked out. The duo was then indefinitely suspended from the organization and have not been seen on WWE programming since. WWE has since released a statement on the walking out of the former SmackDown Women's Champions, and Michael Cole said that Banks and Naomi had let us all down by their actions. There have been rumors swirling that Banks and Naomi may be on their way back to WWE lately, but they are yet to make their returns. So, and they were at the C2E2 convention in Chicago, where I was at. And, I think they did good. This is just coming out. Comicbook.com reports on August 17, 2022, Sasha Banks robbed in Oakland. Wow. Sasha Banks has been MIA from WWE programming, but the boss has not been shooed away from the public eye since walking out of Monday Night Raw with a tag team partner, Naomi, this past May. Banks made an appearance at Chicago's C2E2, which I was there, Expo, signing autographs and taking pictures with fans under her real name, Mercedes Varnado. Most recently, Banks and Naomi strutted the red carpet at Marvel's She-Hulk Attorney at Law premiere, while managing shift within WWE has fans optimistic about the former WWE Women's Tag Team Champions returning to weekly television sooner than later. The road back to her employer hit a little bump earlier this week. Banks took to social media to reveal that her car was robbed in Oakland just 5 minutes after parking it. Sasha got robbed in Oakland. Thankfully, she's safe. Hold on. Further videos shared on Banks' Instagram story included security camera footage which showcased the hooded robber smashing her rear windshield and taking items. Banks captioned that video, "Had fun with the hair products," indicating those were the only valuables the thief got away with. Okay. I am just hearing about this now. Let me find out more information. Sasha Banks was burglarized in Oakland. Excuse me. Security footage released. Who could have this been? Banks wrote, "Have fun with the hair products," with the middle finger emoji. Along with the video, she also shared a photo of the back of the trunk with shattered pieces of glass and a few emptied out bags. Banks and Naomi were in Los Angeles earlier this week for the premiere of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It is unknown if the boss was in Oakland for another event or just visiting family and friends. According to multiple reports, both Banks and Naomi are expected to return to WWE imminently. Okay. Somebody broke in her car and stole hair care products. That person has no life and they're weird. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, they're weird. I mean, you break in somebody's car, steal hair care products. I think that's weird, But anyway, Sasha Banks was robbed in Oakland. I guess that was recent news. That's much of what I would say. She got robbed in Oakland. And that's very bogus and very weird that somebody would break in her car just to steal hair care products. Maybe they broke in her car because they knew it was Sasha Banks. That's weird. Let me see if I can find it on her Instagram. They said she posted it on her Instagram. Looks like she didn't. It's not on here. I just see pictures of her at the She-Hulk premiere, red carpet. But she looks fine on this picture, though. Y'all got to see this. Oh my gosh, she's beautiful. With that hair too. Yeah, yeah. I'm a Sasha Banks fanboy. Let's not forget that. If I had a choice between Alicia Fox or Sasha, man, I don't even know. Probably Fox or Sasha. Either one I'm good with. I'm fine with either one. But yeah, um, there was a statement going around where Tony Khan about a few months ago said that this year, he said a few months ago, he said that Jade Cargill is the Goldberg in AEW today. Jade Cargill is Goldberg. If that's Tony Khan's opinion, that's Tony Khan's opinion. The woman is talented. I mean, is she a little overhyped? Yeah, I can agree with that. Has she put in all the work and proven she's the best? Not really. I think that they've honestly. This is my honest opinion about Jade Cargill. I love Jay. I'm a Jade fan, but I think that they've somewhat over pushed her to the point where she's put in all this hard work. She probably has. Who am I to say she hasn't? But coming from the guy who hasn't wrestled a match of the day of his life or stepped in a wrestling ring, I'll say this. I just feel she, in my opinion, my opinion, has not, because I'm tied to my opinion. I think that she kind of hasn't put in all that much work to prove she is the best. To say she's the Goldberg, you're talking about the best. We're talking about the best, is what I'm saying. So Jade Cargill is immediately great because she's a TBS champion. Daniel Bryan won the WWE Championship. He won the Unified WWE Championship back in 2014 at WrestleMania. Is Daniel Bryan the greatest? Is he on the Mount Rushmore? Is he the Goldberg of today? Hell no. Definitely not Daniel Bryan. But is he the Goldberg of today? When you say she's Goldberg of today, I'm not even a Goldberg fan. I don't like Goldberg like that. But in all actuality, when you say, is she the Goldberg of today? Goldberg is one of the biggest names in wrestling. But since WCW. But can you say, oh, she's the best today? The greatest, the best? It's kind of similar to the Sasha Banks. I see her like another Sasha Banks. That whole thing is kind of weird when you say, I mean, here's Tony Khan's opinion, but I just think it's a little weird to say that, in my opinion. Jade Cargill is the best. You know, you gotta think she's the Goldberg of today. I would rethink that again. How many championships? Hold on. I'm gonna probably check this out. Goldberg headlined the WWE Hall of Fame in 2018 and is a four-time world champion in his professional wrestling career between WWE and WCW. He is also the only man in history to have been WCW World Heavyweight, WWE World, WCW World Heavyweight, WWE World Heavyweight, and WWE Universal Champion. So he's the first man to have those three titles, including him being a Universal Champion. So, and that's in two different promotions, WWE and WCW back then. So Jade Cargill, her championship wins. She's the current TBS champion in AEW. That's one title. She debuted last in 2020 and didn't wrestle her first match until last year in 2021. That's technically 3 years and a half or 2 years of having a career in pro wrestling. Technically. So, how many years have Goldberg been in the business? Bill Goldberg was active in wrestling since 96. Since 1998. And we want to say Jade Cargill is the Goldberg of in AEW today. I would rethink that. When we're talking about who's great, for example, Daniel Bryan won the Unified WWE Championships back at WrestleMania 30 in 2014 when he was in the main event against Orton, Triple H, Batista, whoever was in that match. We're saying, but Daniel Bryan is great. He's the greatest because you won a championship? No. I don't like Daniel Bryan. I'm not a Daniel Bryan fan. But you're going to say because he main event WrestleMania and won the championship, and that's one main event he ever won at WrestleMania, but he's great. Nah, I got to come better with that. That's crazy to think that, in my opinion. So that's it for this episode of Let's Talk Wrestling. Hit that like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. Whatever you do, hit the subscribe button. But check out the channel. And this is Let's Talk Wrestling. And thank you guys. Have a positive, blessed day. Love yourself, love God, and and keep being a wrestling fan. Thank y'all, and peace, love, and I'm out.